small gathering and just my grandparents, my aunts and my uncles and some of my cousins. I helped prepare everything during the morning and we all had lunch together. I ended up being asked to look after my younger brother at 7, which I didn't really mind. One of my cousins, 21, female, let's call her Mary, and her fiancé, 23, male, let's call him Matthew, asked me to look after their kid, 4, male, let's call him Andrew, who I had looked after multiple times since he was born. I was getting tired and I didn't really want to do it since 4-year-olds are a lot of work, so I politely said no. Mary was fine with it and thanked me anyway. The problem are my parents, who called me rude and an idiot after everyone had left. They said that I should have taken care of Andrew since Mary and Matthew have been very stressed about wedding plans and having to take care of him at the same time. I told them that I was tired of always having to take care of kids since that's what I've been doing most of my life, and I don't really know why, but I got very upset and impulsively told them that I was tired of always taking care of kids, and that my teen years were ruined by them because I always had to be looking after my siblings. They said that I was ungrateful and to stop being dramatic. I ended up leaving and going to my apartment. It's been almost a month since this happened, and I received a few texts from my brother, 14, asking about the argument and asking me to make up with our parents. So I've been wondering, was I the a-hole? Absolutely not. Absolutely not the a-hole. If the parents are so concerned about the aunt and uncle being stressed with wedding plans along with having a kid, then maybe they should offer to help out themselves instead of advocating for their kid to be put on babysitter duty. I will always be mad at parents like this because I grew up in a very similar situation. From a very young age, I was not only my mum's carer, but once she got better, I basically turned into like a second parent or a second mother for my siblings. Her and my stepdad basically wanted nothing to do with the kids, but kept having kids, so I pretty much had to like raise them. You know, I had to pretty much do everything other than change the nappies because I was too little to be able to do it. I had to make the bottles, clean the bottles, feed them, play with them all day, fuss them, burp them, put them to sleep, tidy up after them, bath them, take them to school for the last few years after I had left school. Look after them when my mum went to hospital, all of that jazz. I had to do all of it for them, you know, put them to bed, look after them whenever we were out, make sure they didn't cross the road or wander off. I never had my time because I was always being a parent figure, and it was frustrating for a really long time, especially for such a young kid. So I will never have sympathy for parents that put such adult responsibilities on their children. It's not fair. I'm really sorry about the background music, by the way. I really hope that it's not too loud. If it is, the only thing I can suggest is lowering your volume a bit, because I don't think I can edit that out, and I can't really just leave it for now and record later because I am really busy this week and I'm like strapped for time to be able to record. So I just really hope that the mic isn't big She's a very sweet and quiet girl and is good with the kids, 4 female and 8 male. We've only had small problems here and there, but nothing major at all. When she first started babysitting for me, I had asked her if there were any drinks or snacks that she'd like me to keep at the house, as she's there from 9 till 7 every day, Monday through Saturday. She mentioned that she really liked seltzer water and I had bought them for the first month. But honestly, I forgot after a while and never kept any in the fridge. A few days ago, I bought hard seltzers for me and my husband and didn't think anything of it. A little bit after 2 p.m, she messaged me that she wasn't feeling well and thought that she may have to go home. If it was possible, if I could get off from work earlier. I asked her to try and hold out until the end of the day. Not too long after, she called me crying, saying that something was wrong and she had to go home. She was drunk, clearly. She drank the hard seltzers. I told her to leave and she walked home. She messaged me the next day and said that she now knew that hard seltzers were alcohol, and she hadn't known. She never drank before, as both of her parents were alcoholics and she has diagnosed PTSD regarding alcohol. She never planned on drinking in general. I told her not to come back as she put my children in danger. She called me crying and saying that she didn't know and that she cared deeply about my children and would never ever drink with them or at all, and that she needs the money to pay for a driver's permit. She comes from a not so well off family. I told her to find a real job and that it wasn't my fault she got drunk. My husband says I'm being very rude and that she did try to reach out when she wasn't feeling well. My kids are upset to see her go, so am I the a-hole? Yes, of course you are the a-hole. Of course you are the a-hole. You were providing non-alcoholic seltzers for her and then started putting hard seltzers in the fridge and didn't think to warn her, knowing that she's a young girl who has no idea. Knowing that she's a young girl that has no idea about alcohol and stuff like that, because she does not partake. She's not interested in drinking and stuff. So yeah, of course you're the a-hole. You didn't warn her. She came clean about it. She communicated that she wasn't feeling well, and then she apologized the next day and explained her mistake. Stuff happens. It's unfortunate, but move on. Okay guys, this next story is by A Life of a Midwife. Dashes between each word there. It's titled, Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole because my babysitter quit after she read my texts? These wires are so doing my head in. I have a babysitter who watches my 2 young girls while me and my husband go to work. She brings her daughter with her. She's always been great. One day she was about 10 minutes late, which made me late for work. It's fine because it hasn't happened before, and she apologized and I thought we were all good. A day later she lets me know that she had been helping my daughter on her iPad and some text popped up between me and my husband. I was complaining to him that the babysitter was late that morning and it made me late to work. Well, she kept reading and read all our texts from the past month. I had also complained to him once that our babysitter had eaten all of our Oreos. It was just funny banter and I got over it quickly, but I was still whining. I would have never said anything to her about it. Anyway, the babysitter texted me the night before she was supposed to watch my kids next, that she was quitting because of those texts she read. She was really hurt. That I would complain to her about her to him. I feel horrible but also violated that she read all our texts. I apologized for what I said, but I still feel sad about it all. Am I the a-hole? not the a-hole. She should have never invaded your privacy. Like, she had no right to do that. Like, I understand a text popping up, you can't help what you read there, but that does not give you the right to then dig through old conversations and, you know, like, that's not okay. That's really not okay. So that's her own fault that she got her feelings hurt. Also, you didn't say anything like bad, like anything super bad. You're allowed to vent to your husband, you're allowed to be frustrated. You just, mentioned that she was late, it made you late, and I made the little comment about her eating all your Oreos. Like, that's okay. You're allowed to be a bit frustrated and talk about it. You still forgave her and you didn't bring it up to her, so it's not like you were super upset about it or bitchy about it. So yeah, you are not the a-hole. This next one, guys, is by Rather Fat. It's titled, Am I the a-hole for firing my children's babysitter for wearing revealing clothes? First, I am the father. Second, I do believe that people should be allowed to wear whatever they want, but they can't be free from judgment. I had this babysitter, Emily, for about a month. She always seemed good, but today I got to leave work early due to a water leak and came home about 3 hours earlier. I open the door and I see her in just a bra and pants. She was surprised. I paid her for today and told her that she wouldn't be babysitting our kids anymore. She then posted on Nextdoor that I fired her for her clothing. That is true, but I feel like that's an over-exaggeration. I just called it out on what really happened. My wife thinks I'm a slight arsehole, but I think I did the right thing. So, am I the a-hole? In my opinion, no, you are not the a-hole. Like, to me, you didn't fire her for her clothing, you fired her for lack thereof. She obviously came fully dressed, but decided to strip down to her bra in your house, and like someone said in the comments, it doesn't matter if you're in someone's home. The point is you're currently working and it's unprofessional to strip down to your underwear or just a bra while you're working, unless of course you're a stripper or something that warrants that. But also, like, I don't think it's appropriate to do that around kids. It's one thing if, like, a close family member, like mum or dad, strips down to their boxers or their bra. That's one thing, that's their family dynamic. But for a babysitter who is pretty much a stranger, that's not appropriate in my opinion. So yeah, you're not the a-hole. This next one's by Man and Dog 192837465. It's titled, Am I the a-hole to tell my neighbour I am not their babysitter and to keep their kids away? I, 23 male, live within 1 mile of 4 elementary schools, so there are tons of kids around here. I have a garden, so I'm outside a lot, and most of the neighbourhood kids end up at my lawn at some point in the day. For the most part, it doesn't bother me. They're all great kids and they have tons of questions about plants, gardening, composting, all of that good stuff. I recently finished my PhD in plant systematics, so I honestly do enjoy teaching them about plants and seeing them excited to learn about it all. Also, it is a bit refreshing to have kids running around and screaming outside rather than sitting in front of screens. Recently, an issue has come up though. I was out gardening and the kids came by as usual. I finished up earlier than usual and I went inside. About an hour later, someone is literally banging on my door. It's my neighbour, and after I open it, she instantly starts childcare and I'm an arsehole to not just watch her kids when she needs help. I have now gone to the rest of my neighbours and told them that I do not want any children in my yard and explained the situation. Most were very understanding and watched their children. Today one boy came by and I asked him to leave and he said okay, but was clearly holding back tears, and now I'm feeling like an a-hole. I'm needing some outside opinion. Am I the a-hole for this? How do I even handle the situation? Edit to add. First, I will be contacting CPS to at least let them know about what happened with my neighbour's unsupervised kids. I'm not really sure what to say or complain about exactly, but I think if I describe the situation fully to them, they will understand. I really do fear for what could have happened to them, and had I known they were unsupervised, I would have at least asked a neighbouring parent to watch them. No, you are not the a-hole. Not the a-hole at all. For someone to just assume that you are babysitting their kids without ever having a discussion with you is insane. Like, I could never tell my kid, like, oh, go to neighbour blah blah, they'll look after you. Like, that's a crazy thing to do. And also, like, unpaid and what else was I gonna say? Unpaid. Oh yeah, and then basically saying like, oh, like, you need to help me when I need help. That's not fair. They're not his kids. He has no, like, obligation to help you or your kids out at all. What a crazy, entitled thing to say. But yeah, calling CPS is definitely the best bet there, because that parent is so irresponsible because she does not know you at all. You could have done anything to her kids. That's crazy. That's really, 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 really crazy. Yeah, so not the a-hole. This next one is by entitled Babysitters with a Z. It's titled, Am I the a-hole for not paying the babysitter what she demanded? I, 31 female, have 1 son, 3 male. He's very sweet, calm, low maintenance, and a great kid. I looked out with him. We asked one of his daycare providers, B, to watch him for 5 hours from 1 to 6 since I had work. B knows he's an easy kid and she knows him well, so she went with a lower charge and we agreed on $50 for the whole time. It wasn't discussed in terms of hours, rather we agreed that $50 for the time she was there was sufficient. Well, there ended up being a situation at work that prevented me from getting home at 6, so I wasn't able to relieve her until around 6:45. My husband works from 11 till 8, so him relieving her was out of the question. When I got there, she seemed to be in a hurry to get out of the house. I understand that I was late, but as a person who works with kids and their parents, she is well aware that things come up. I handed her a $50 bill and she thanked me but asked for $7 more. I told her that she got the $50 she agreed on, but she said that since I was 45 minutes late and I was paying her $10 an hour, she had earned $7 more for an extra 45 minutes. I told her that's not what we agreed on. We agreed on $50 and it shouldn't matter that I was late because we didn't discuss it in terms of hours. She argued that I agreed I would be home at 6 and didn't adhere to that either, but it's an entirely different story. I ended up only says here at the bottom, edit to add. Apparently my husband chose to Venmo her an extra $50 behind my back for her troubles. So she got double what we agreed upon. Happy now. Oh my god. This person just sounds like such a bitch. Okay, this next story is by Narrow-Syrup1428. It's titled, Am I the a-hole for saying I didn't sign up for the job of always being a babysitter? My dad met his wife when I was 10. She had 2 kids, her daughter 7 and his son was 6. Their dad walked out on them and they had not seen him since. Where my mum died when I was 8. My dad and his wife sat me down when they were getting serious and told me her daughter would need me to look out for her because she's special needs and has Down syndrome. They told me I would be her big sister now and it was important I be a good one because she would always have trouble. I told them I didn't want to be a big sister and they said what I wanted wasn't important because it was happening and she would need me more than he would. So ever since that little talk, it's been on my shoulders to make sure that she's okay. Kids being mean, I need help. She doesn't have anyone to hang out with her. I need to do it. I don't want to. I get a lecture. I resent it. I do. I don't resent her. I know it's not her fault. But I never wanted to do any of this stuff. I never signed up to be a babysitter, but especially now that's what I am. If they want to go anywhere, I have to stay with my stepsister. Oh my god. If they want to go anywhere, I have to stay with my stepsister. And she's very attached to me. Like she is clingy and needy with me, and I know she loves me a lot. She's more attached to me than she is to her brother or her mum for that matter. She will choose me over her mum in a lot of things. I'm even told to hold her hand when we're out so she doesn't. I'm even told to hold her hand when we're out if she doesn't want to hold her mum's hand. I hate all of it. I'm now 17 and the end of my time here is drawing closer and I plan to move out ASAP and not come back home for any weekends or any day visits. My dad's wife is aware of this too. She has heard me make plans and she and my dad have started trying to convince me to stick around. Even worse, they have taken 3 of my weekends in the last 2 months and made me babysit her daughter for the entire weekend. They are trying to add pressure for me to not just tip from their lives because it would crush my stepsister. This past week I had enough and I lost it when it was just me and my dad and his wife at home. They were making plans for next weekend and I told them I had never signed up for the job of always being a babysitter and that if they thought I would feel guilty for leaving it all behind then they were wrong because I can't wait to leave and I won't miss any of them when I'm gone. My dad started yelling at me and asking how I could be so cold and I was an a-hole for acting like being part of the family and being part of my sister's life was a chore. Tension has been present ever since and I see that my stepsister is really bothered by it. She started crying when she got home that day and she's cried a lot more since, more than is normal for her. I am being blamed, so am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole at all. My thoughts on this are basically the exact same as I think that the first story. You shouldn't parentify your children. It's not up to your children to look after your other kids. Step up and be a parent and stop acting like kids are monsters for wanting to have a child. Okay, this next one is by Throw R679991. It's titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay to fix she always takes it, so they knew it was hers. And also, I think it's always the case of, if your kid broke it, you pay for it. That's your kid. It's your responsibility. It's the same as if I took my dog out and she jumped up on someone and they dropped their phone. Even though they dropped their phone, it would have been my fault because my dog jumped up on them, so I would pay for the phone. I think it's a simple thing to keep in mind. Okay guys, this is gonna be the last one for tonight. I'm sorry that videos have been a bit shorter lately. It's absolutely boiling in the UK. Our houses are made to keep heat in, and we don't have aircon of any kind, and it's so humid, especially with the fish tank behind me. So I'm absolutely like sweating, especially because I've had to turn all the fans off, because obviously they're too loud. So yeah, this is by Alive Leg 61. It's titled, "Am I the a-hole for wanting to be paid for babysitting my own daughter?" I can already tell where this one's gonna go. My 39 male, wife 34 female, and I live in a suburban house with our daughter 10 female Emily. Our neighbour next door, 48 male Walter, is a single father with 2 daughters, 14 female and 12 female. We have been living here for a little more than 2 years. My wife really likes watching scary movies, but I have never enjoyed them. I get too scared and end up having a bad time, so I prefer to avoid them. Her friends sometimes go with her to the more popular ones, but she also likes older indies and foreign horror movies. She has always had a hard time finding people that have this niche interest, and that is why it was such a big deal when we met Walter and found out he also shares this tendency. They very quickly started to make plans to watch movies together. I was invited to be part of this but refused. I prefer to just stay at home babysitting Emily and Walter's daughter while they are in their cinephile reunions. Sometimes they go to the movie theatres, but other times they just stay at Walter's place watching stuff at his home cinema. They usually have to go to another town in order to catch a specific function of some weird movies, so it is normal for them to come back very late. They eventually started doing stuff outside of watching movies, like going out for dinner. Walter invited all of us, including the kids, to go with him to a restaurant that a friend of him owned, but I said no because it was too expensive. I don't like those kind of places because I feel they are a waste of money and didn't think the kids would enjoy it either. I insisted on staying with the kids and let the 2 of them go be themselves. This has become a regular thing, and it is, in a way, a good deal for me, because Walter pays for my wife's dinner and she can no longer complain about me not taking her to fancy restaurants. As both their movie and dinner nights had become so common, I have grown a little tired of the burden of constantly babysitting the girls. I talked to my wife and Walter about it, and he explained that he usually does not like leaving his daughters with babysitters. He says he is really comfortable, however, knowing that they are being watched by an experienced father like me, instead of some teenage girl. He nevertheless agreed that it was too much of a load for me and offered to start paying me a standard babysitter fee each time he goes out with my wife. I thought that was a fair approach to the issue, but my wife was fully against it. She says I should not be paid for babysitting my own daughter, nor the daughters of a close friend of our family like Walter. We have been arguing about this, but she insists on this notion and is not open to change. She even gets mad every time I talk to her about this. Walter promised me that he will convince her, but he does not seem to have been able to do so either. Am I the a-hole? Yes, you are absolutely the a-hole, just like your wife said. There's no such thing